in the heart of Umuachi, a small village known for its communal spirit and vibrant markets, lived a man named Baba Ikena. He was widely respected for his generosity, often helping widows, orphans, and struggling families. Every market day, he would give out food and money, earning him the nickname Naochi, the father of all. But behind this mask of kindness, Baba Ikena harbored a dark secret. He was a predator, a trafficker of human body parts, using his wealth and influence to lure unsuspecting young women into his trap. With multiple phones, he charmed and deceived girls from different villages, promising them marriage, riches, or scholarships. Those who trusted him never returned home. One day, Baba Ikena met Adana, a beautiful and intelligent young woman from Nkwala village. She was a university student studying mass communication in the city, raised in a strong Christian home by her mother, Mama Ejima. Unlike many girls who easily fell for material things, Adana was cautious, always guided by the wisdom of her elders. Baba Ikena, using one of his fake names, Obina, reached out to Adana online. He painted a picture of himself as a wealthy businessman looking for a serious wife. He sent her sweet messages and tried to convince her to visit his home in the city, but Adana refused. "A man I have never met? I cannot go to his house," she told her best friend Chinaza. Baba Ikena grew furious. No girl had ever refused him before. "I have lost money because of this girl," he muttered to himself. "Now I must have her, no matter what." Since his last delivery had failed, Baba Ikena decided to stock up on more victims. Unknown to the people of Umuachi, he kept over 30 girls locked in a shed behind his house. Some had been there for weeks, waiting for their turn to be harvested. One day, a desperate pregnant woman, Oledo, abandoned by her husband, heard of Baba Ikena's generosity and went to him for help. He welcomed her warmly, offering her food and shelter. But that night, he tied her up and threw her into the shed. Oledo cried day and night, angering Baba Ikena. In her final moments, she placed a curse on him, saying, "You will pay for your evil one day." But he only laughed, knowing that no one would ever suspect him. Determined to have Adana, Baba Ikena changed his approach. He invited her to a popular restaurant in the city. To feel safe, Adana brought Chinaza and another friend, Ngozi, with her. When Baba Ikena saw Adana in person, his fake smile widened. "Wow, you are more beautiful than I imagined," he said smoothly. "Thank you," Adana replied, but she remained cautious. He paid for their meal and gave Chinaza and Ngozi some money. He also offered some to Adana, but she politely refused. Ngozi whispered, "Adana, do you know how hard it is to find a rich man like this? Don't be too stubborn." Baba Ikena spent weeks trying to win Adana over. He sent her expensive gifts, which she always rejected. Eventually, she agreed to date him but still refused to visit his house. Frustrated but patient, Baba Ikena pretended to understand. Then, one day, Adana called him. She had changed her mind. She was coming to visit him that weekend. Baba Ikena's heart raced with excitement. Finally, her end is near, and she doesn't even know it, he thought. On the day of her trip, as Adana arrived at the bus park, she called Baba Ikena. He told her to wait, but just then, she received a distressing call from home. Her younger brother had been in an accident. Without hesitation, she rushed back to her village. She tried calling Baba Ikena to explain, but he ignored her calls. Later, when he finally picked up, he was furious. But he masked his anger, pretending to be understanding. Weeks passed, and Baba Ikena kept insisting on meeting Adana. Finally, she decided to surprise him with an unannounced visit. She called him only when she had already arrived in his city. Baba Ikena was caught off guard. He had business to attend to that night, deliveries to make. But he had no choice. He picked her up and took her home. "I will deal with her tomorrow," he thought. That night, As Adana settled in, she heard strange noises from the backyard. Curiosity got the better of her, and she tiptoed outside. The sound was coming from a locked shed. Peeking through a small opening, her heart nearly stopped. Dozens of women were tied up inside, blood staining the walls. One of them, barely alive, whispered, "He is a monster. He traps girls and sells their body parts." Adana quickly untied as many as she could and called the police. She had uncovered a horror beyond imagination. The next morning, Baba Ikena returned home, whistling cheerfully. He had no idea what awaited him. He handed Adana a drink, but she refused. Confused, he said, "You won't need it. You will not leave here alive." Calmly, Adana smiled. "I am glad I came, Baba Ikena. There are enough witnesses and evidence now." Before he could react, police officers stormed in and surrounded him. His face twisted in shock. He had been outsmarted. That evening, the entire village of Umuachi gathered in disbelief. Baba Ikena, their beloved Naochi, had been a demon among them. Under police interrogation, Baba Ikena confessed everything. His accomplices were arrested, and they all faced the death penalty. Adana, hailed as a hero, founded an organization to educate young women on the dangers of online predators. The people of Umuachi learned a painful lesson. Evil can wear the mask of kindness. And so, the name Baba Ikena, once spoken with respect, became a curse, a reminder that no secret stays hidden forever.